Oh man, could this be it? Could this be the final events of history being played out? Could this be the end of time? There have been hundreds of doomsday predictions since the beginning of time. Even the Romans thought the world would end when their city would be destroyed in its 120th year.
The Mayans said it was supposed to be December 21st or something like that. I just don't believe that. It seems kind of ridiculous that people 2,000 years ago could predict something like that.
I think the world will end when either something collides with Earth or sun goes supernova.
Well, I've heard like zombie apocalypse and stuff, but that seems highly improbable. I've heard earthquakes and, natural disasters and stuff. That's a bit more plausible, right?
Will the Earth get sucked into a massive black hole? Or will it be an asteroid that crashes into the planet that causes a catastrophic tidal wave? Or will we freeze to death when a geomagnetic reversal brings on a new ice age?
We know from the geological record that from time to time the magnetic field dies away and then it reestablishes itself, and usually, or sometimes at least, it reestablishes itself in the opposite polarity. So north becomes south and south becomes north. And that happens every 10,000 or 100,000 or million years. The last reversal was about 700,000 years ago, which isn't so long geological time, and geologists have gone looking for evidence of extinctions during magnetic reversals. The next previous one was about 1.7 million years, and so that's pretty young rock material, and there's lots of good fossil evidence in it, and they've looked for evidence of an extinction and haven't found anything.
December 21st, 2012 will go down in the history books as one of the most widely anticipated apocalypses to be prognosticated of all time, thanks to the Mayans.
The origins of the date being potentially linked to the end of the world comes from a single site in southern Mexico called Tortuguera. And what they have there is a column carved in stone, and it is partially defaced, and the time or the inscription on there ends with Baktun 13. And so some people have interpreted that one place, that one ancient Mayan site, as saying something about the calendar ending and the world ending at the same time.
Well, there's a historical connection to the Mayan calendar, of course, and there's all kinds of people who will believe anything, I suppose, but you can't look at life that way. I mean, the world could end tomorrow, but you can't plan that way. You got to plan for the future and be optimistic and positive, and more people need to be that way. That should be the lesson of this whole experience: is don't believe what others are telling you. Live today for the fullest, and live for tomorrow, and plan for tomorrow and the future.
It'd be like somebody looking at a calendar in your house and looking at, it's December now, we're looking at it, it sees that the calendar goes to December 31st, they look underneath and there's nothing else there. And so does the world end? Well, of course not. We just put another calendar out. And the Mayans had the same thing. Their calendars have cycles. And this particular one, the Baktuns, their sort of largest unit of time, was about 394 years. So it rolls over about every 400 years. This has happened 400 years ago, and it's happening again now.
Maybe the seers were having blurry visions, or maybe it's a misinterpretation of science and myth, or maybe it's just a complete fabrication designed to scare the pants off of us. Maybe it's a good idea to get some of this stuff anyway.
Probably the easiest way to prepare for the end of the world is make sure that you have goods at home in light of a power failure or sort of a natural disaster. So commonly in our store, items that we sell are dried food. Dried food has a long shelf life and can be heated up using an alternate heating source. Water purification tablets and water purification kits are pretty commonly purchased, not just for backpackers and hikers, but for that same type of thing. Flashlights, batteries are always used. We sell a great selection of sleeping bags, even tents are commonly purchased from different groups of people. Lighters, matches, the list goes on and on.
And then there's the solar maximums, those super sunspots that are supposed to hit the planet. It could cause problems with our communication systems. And not having a cell phone for many is kind of like the end of the world, isn't it? Hello?
I bet you a bunch of people will claim all sorts of little events that happen on that day as the precursor of some big doom, but it's going to come and go, and people will forget it like they pretty much forgot the 2000 millennium scare.
The funny thing is, of course, that the Mayans, I always tell them in all of this, the Mayans' civilization ended after the Spanish came, and the Mayans weren't able to predict the end of their own civilization. So it's kind of hard to imagine that they could predict the end of the world.
There are still many more doomsday predictions beyond December 21st, 2012, including one from Nostradamus, a French apothecary and reputed seer who says the end of the world will happen in the year 3786 or 3797, depending which expert you believe. I guess you won't be needing this anymore. It's the end of the world.